Hey folks, it's Joe from Big Fast Customs, and it is Labor Day weekend. Well, it's Monday night, so weekend's over, but I hope you got some extra time off and were able to spend some time with your friends and family, or maybe even working on your projects. Uh, I didn't get the footage I wanted to get done, so I thought I would throw together a quick video. I wanted to give you guys an update on what I've been working on our open projects, talk about a returning project, and if you stick around, I'm going to show you two cars that I've got in line for the next project after the Sloppy Speedster, and I want you guys to tell me which one you want to see done next. So, guys, like I've told you a million times, it's been really busy, and I was hoping rolling into September here that it was going to lighten up a little bit, and it looks like it's not. So I'm going to keep working on things as I can. Just because I've been busy doesn't mean I haven't been working on stuff. Whenever I got a few minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, I would run down into the garage and try and get something done. So I wanted to give you guys some little teasers of some of the stuff I've been working on, and you'll see videos on later, and talk about what's coming up for the channel. Behind me here, we've got the Camaro. You guys know we did one video on it a while back where we rebuilt the subframe, and then after that it's been basically just sitting in the background of the Sloppy Speedster videos. Well, I did start working on it some more. We've got the firewall that we're smoothing out. I test fit the vintage air system in there, so that's looking really good. I can't wait for that, because driving this thing without air in the South Carolina sun was not fun. But I've got the smoothing panel on here. I was going to make one from scratch, but I wound up getting a little bit fancier one. It needs a little more trimming, and then we'll get it tacked in place, and that should be done pretty soon. After we get that tacked in place, we're going to test fit the motor, the transmission, make sure everything's fitting, make any changes we've got to make, and then we should really be able to get rolling on getting this thing back together. Now, I've got the motor over here. It's a 5.3 LS out of a truck. Don't get too impressed. This is just a mock-up too. The heads are on there with like 2 bolts, and there's no lifters in it or anything like that. It was just so I could mock up the brackets for the AC and the alternator, get my headers on there, and start working on the wiring. So after I get this test fit in the car, then it's going to come all apart. We've got a cam for it, and we've got other work to do. But I did spend some time on the wiring. I wanted all the wiring tucked underneath the intake, so it was kind of hidden. So I've got all that taped together. It looks really good. Beyond the intake, it's spaghetti. So after we get it test fit, I'll figure out where the wires are going to run through the firewall. Excuse me. And then we'll get the rest of the wiring taken care of. Other than that, I've been working on the Sloppy Speedster still. And you can see I've got, some patch panels done on the cowl. We've got the sides back on, and it's smoothing out. It's coming along a lot better than I thought. It'll look good from 10 feet, but I've got a video coming up on that, patching this, making some panels for here. I made a special tool so we can make some of the flange panels over here, so that'll be coming up. I've also got the front brakes already rebuilt. They're not on the car yet. I've got them rebuilt here in the garage. I've got a tank. You guys saw in the last video we did the seats, so it's really moving along, and hopefully as soon as this cowl gets done, we can start getting the thing back together and finally get it finished. My plan for this weekend was to get this cowl done, but if you look over by the garage door over on the far side there, you see an engine on a stand. That's out of my daily driver. Yeah, I have a 2006 Chevy Avalanche, basically the same motor as what we're putting into the Camaro. And I've been putting off some rear main seal repairs and some exhaust bolt repairs. And then earlier in the week, the radiator went out. So I decided it was time to pull everything out. So the motor's not in the truck anymore. So that's what I've been working on. It was hot, then it rained, then it got hot again, then it rained some more, then it got hot and rained. So I spent basically whatever time I could all weekend getting the motor out, and at least it's finally in the garage where I can work on it. hopefully next weekend I'll get it back in the truck. But maybe I'll show you some stuff on that. I know you guys probably aren't too interested in that, but I need to get that truck done. So beyond the truck that I got to work on, the Camaro, and the Sloppy Speedster stuff, we've got a returning project, and that is the Doodlebug. You guys that watched the Doodlebug video seem to really like it. There was a lot of likes, there was a lot of comments. So we're going to do at least one more video on that. I've already got the shift tower out of the second transmission and freed that up. So once I get that back on, we should be able to shift out of ultra low gear and actually be able to drive it a little faster. We're going to fix the front suspension because that axle's basically falling off. We're going to put on tires that are round. That'll help. And hopefully fix that oil leak. And I'll be honest, that oil leak makes me nervous because a Model A engine doesn't have a rear main seal. It has an oil slinger, and if you start to get a lot of oil through there, it's because the babbies are wearing out. So I hope we can open it up and we can tighten up the rear bearings and fix whatever's going on so we stop dumping oil into the clutch. And, you know, we'll see how the video ends up. Maybe we got to swap the motor, or, you know, I don't know. Maybe we'll drive it around. But that is our returning project. And earlier in the weekend, in between rainstorms, I filmed 2 cars that I have set up for the next project once the Sloppy Speedster's done. I'm going to show you those here in a second, and I want you guys either head over to the community page on the channel, and I'll have voting there. You guys can pick which one of the 2 cars you'd like to see next. Or if you don't know how to use the community channel, just put a comment down below and let me know what you think, which car you want to see once the Sloppy Speedster's done. Let's go take a look at those, and you guys can tell me what you think. All right, folks, before I get cleaned up, since we're in between rainstorms right now, I thought I would show you the next project cars that I promised to show to you. So this is car number 1. This is a 2829 Coupe. I do not have a roof for it. I got it without the roof. It does have the frame that goes around the doors, so I can put a roof on it. I could put a soft top on it, but I'd like to get a hard top for it, so I'll probably run it with leaving the frames on it and the doors full size, and hope to get a roof later. That's not going to stop us from putting it together. But yeah, it's a 2829 Coupe sitting on a 28 frame right now. The plan would be dropped front axle, probably reverse eye spring, all that. Maybe Z-ing the front, but I don't think so. We'll Z the back for sure. Maybe a later V8 axle or a S10 axle, and most likely a small block Chevy. I've got a 307, 3/4 of the way built right now. It's got some nice fin valve covers, and yeah, it looks really good. It would look good in this car. Whichever car we choose for the next project's probably going to be the one that gets that motor. But the body's not in bad shape. The doors are horrible. That's going to be fun to fix. But somebody's already done some work to the body. I might clean that up a little bit. You know, you can see we've got some patches in the wheel well and up in the quarter panel, but it looks decent on the outside. So we'll sand it all down. If everything looks good, then we'll probably just leave that stuff the way it is, but probably get rid of the spider at some point. But yeah, I think this wouldn't be too hard of a project car. You know, aside from the doors, there's not a lot of body work to do aside from channeling it. But yeah, so this is project number 1. And then I apologize, I didn't clean up around project number 2 yet because it's been raining. And it's collecting all my spare parts, but this is project car number 2. This is a 29 model AA stake bed. And this truck was my grandfather's. He bought this in the 60s to use for his service station. I actually have some of the receipts from his service station with his logo on it. And since I share the same name with him, I'm probably going to put that logo on the side of the truck, and it'd look pretty cool. It was a Shell service station. But I
did start working on this already 6-7 years ago. I threw a drop axle under the front of it, and we took out the original axle and put a Explorer 8.8 disc brake rear end in it. And like I said, I was going to put that 307 was actually being built for this truck. You can see the rear end. I've got some modern springs, but I tried to set it up the same as the original setup for the Model AA. And then instead of the wishbones going all the way up to the front, I've got some mounts right there on the bottom. I might change this a little bit. I'm pretty sure those springs are not going to be strong enough. So I might need to add some leaves at least. But it is going to stay a stake bed. And I'm not going to chop the top on this. I want to keep the cab the same way that it is. You know, I'll patch up the rust and, you know, fix the top and stuff like that. But I'm not going to do any modifications to this. I want this to be my grandfather's truck. So we're keeping the frame. We're keeping the body, radiator, shroud, the fenders. The hood is pretty bad. I don't know if I can save any of that, but otherwise, I might. This is the original rear end or front end from it. Of course, it's not dropped, and it's got a higher spring. You can see I'm taking care of it, just leaving it here in the weeds like that. I'm seasoning it. That's what we're doing over here. We're seasoning these parts. But I might swap out the original front end for this drop axle and then put the drop axle in the red car. But we'll see. I kind of liked the way it looked with the drop axle and the Explorer rear end. It was lower. I don't plan to haul real heavy stuff with it, so it might be okay. I want to get this pulled out. We'll put some weight on it and see how those springs hold up in the back. And if it doesn't sag a lot, we might keep it with the drop axle, or we might put the original one back in. But yeah, so that's it. The two projects, so my grandfather's Model AA stake bed or the 2829 coupe over here. I'll put a vote in the community page, and you guys can vote there, or if you don't know how to use that or can't find it, just throw a comment in the bottom of this video and let me know which one you like. Stake bed, coupe, which one are we working on next? And just in case you were looking at the Ranchero here and saying, but I want that, I want this too, but it needs a lot of garage time. And with the Camaro not being done right now, we have to wait till the Camaro's finished, and then this is going to take over the garage. This is my 1961 Ranchero. For any of you that are part of the channel that know me from high school, you might remember this car. You might have seen it in the parking lot at school, or maybe you actually rode in this car, or maybe you picked me up one day when this car broke down. But regardless, I brought this back down from Michigan, and it is now sitting on a stretched 86 Corvette chassis. So I am really, really, really wanting to get this in the garage, but I have to get the Camaro done first. So this one will be in the future. Right now we're voting that one or that one. Let me know what you guys think.
All right, folks, there you go. So we've got a 2829 coupe or the 1929 Model AA stake bed. Let me know, either vote on the community page or down below in the comments, and let me know which one of those you want to see as our next big project when the Sloppy Speedster gets done. Of course, I gotta say it, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I am thrilled to tell you guys we've hit 250 subscribers. Now, I know that's not a lot for YouTube, but it makes me happy. That tells me that 250 of you watched one of my videos and then said, I could watch another one. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. So, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I've got about an hour left, so I'm going to try and get something else done, and I'll see you guys really soon.